method of business would persist until the formation of the National Wrestling Alliance in 1948. The NWA as a central governing body, with its singular, undisputed world champion, would be absolute and undeniable. This control, combined with the expansion of the interstate highway system, and the inevitable popularity and availability of regional television, would usher in an era of wrestling that was defined by what would come to be known as the territory system. The territory system would dominate wrestling for nearly 4 decades. While the borders, authority, popularity, and obedience of individual NWA territories was in a near constant state of flux, to this day the impact and influence of these territories is still felt. Each territory had its own signature promoter and star. While it is impossible to cram these characteristics into a static, concrete map, we are damn sure going to try anyway.
So open up your eyes before it gets too late. Now run, man, as low while you can. Hit the street lights running, don't give a damn. A simple explanation that you'll never find. Sinners never sacrifice. We never leave them alone. Is hate really worth the price? Look at what we've done. Never care for compromise. Always threatening someone's life, and it feels like the end of the world.
All right, welcome to another edition of This Week in Pro Wrestling with your host, Mike Monty, and Jimmy Farrow. Jimmy, how do you like doing the live show before the main show instead of pre-taping the show? What are your thoughts?
Me love it a long time.
Do you love it a long time?
Yeah, love long
How
time.
come?
Me so horny.
Wow. Glad you got full of
This week in
of
wrestling.
lines.
Me so horny.
Me so horny.
Greetings, fellow wrestling earthlings.
Greetings and salutations.
No.
All right, let's open up. I'm sorry for the late delay, guys. Thanks for joining us. And don't forget the 9 o'clock show where we've got a special guest on, so it should be enjoying. But let's hit it. Vince Russo questions whether Vince McMahon ever truly created great characters in the WWE. Former wrestling writer and booker Vince Russo has a bone to pick with Vince McMahon's legacy. In a recent interview with Wrestling Binge by Sportskeeda, Russo lambasted McMahon for not having creative bona fide, and his reputation suggests that stating that Vince's father was the one making the characters in the WWE. That was Vince Sr. who made the Valiant Brothers and Ivan Putski and Waldo Von Erich and Georgie Animal Steel and Baron Von Raschke. And he said Vince McMahon Jr., all he did was steal from the territories when he brought in Randy Savage, Hogan, Piper, Cowboy Bob Orton. These guys already had a reputation. Thoughts, Jimmy, on your friend Vince? Well, one last thing. Again, I don't really watch Russo's podcast at all. Okay. But all the guy ever talks about is how he's sick of wrestling. Right?
Right.
And he doesn't want to talk about it because he wants to talk about baseball because he's such a great baseball fan. He knows everything about baseball. In fact,
he does.
Yeah, because he knows how to pick the winners. Like last year, he picked that Cleveland would beat the Yankees in the playoffs, and he was so positive because he's so great at picking baseball, and yet proven that he doesn't know shit about baseball, didn't know shit about wrestling, didn't know shit about baseball. But anyway, is Vince Russo right in this particular case that Vince McMahon never created good characters?
I'm surprised we're giving him the time to even answer this nonsense. No, he's not right. How do you explain characters like The Undertaker? Or how do you explain characters like The Rock? How do you explain... Look, Vince McMahon has always recognized talent. When he sees a massive talent, if he sees fit to push it, he will, and tweak it to enhance it. Do not tell me that Hulk Hogan was the Hulk Hogan he became in the WWE when he was in AWA.
Well, he did
Get
say
the fuck
that
out of here.
he put
Don't
Hogan-
tell me that Macho Man Randy Savage was already the fully packaged Macho Man legend that Vince McMahon tweaked and made.
Well, here's the counter.
Sure, there was plenty to work with, but a genius knows how to finish it off, just like George Martin knew what to do with the Beatles.
But here's his counter, is that those wrestlers you just named went to a bigger area, and that's why they were more successful.
Bah. He's just jealous. I don't think I should waste too much time on Vince Russo. He couldn't figure out that the Yankees were better than the... Do I have to call them the Guardians?
Yeah, you do.
All right. Well, the Yankees were better than the Guardians. You don't know jack shit about baseball. Maybe you should watch kickball, Vince. What do you think? Would Vince Russo become a kickball expert?
Vince
What do you think?
Russo-
If he saw enough
Vince-
ESPN 5 broadcasts of kickball, would he get it down?
Listen, Vince Russo's a chicken hawk. We already discussed that, right? As much as you may not...
not a chicken hawk. That's a chicken hawk
You may
right
not
there.
like John Arrizzi or...
Who?
Right, exactly.
Okay.
He did take advantage of
Yeah.
Arrizzi.
Yeah.
Whether Arrizzi
Yeah.
wants to spin it because they
Right.
made up,
Yeah.
right? Here's the problem.
If the Mets play the Mets, do I care?
No.
They're both a couple of Mets. Who
That's
cares?
right.
You guys suck.
Let me ask you something.
No offense to real Met fans or the
if
actual
you
Mets.
were Arrizzi,
Yeah.
just saying, you're right. You're a God-fearing man, and forgiveness is really important.
Yeah.
So
I'm a Pharaoh-fearing man.
there you go.
Much less God.
But kudos to
God saw.
Arrizzi for forgiving Russo.
Right? Yeah, sure.
Could you have
sure.
forgiven Russo? Now, let's remember the story. Owns a video store that's failing, right? Because
Right.
videotapes, he probably got in
Right.
at the end when videotapes were no longer.
I got a gold mine in VHS.
I have gold mine.
Yeah.
Oh no, DVDs. Anyway,
Oh, fucking Betamax. I invested wrong.
he reaches out to Arrizzi. Arrizzi lets him do the show.
Yeah.
He brings in a big sponsor for Arrizzi. We all know that
Yeah,
Arrizzi is a worker, tries to work everybody. We all
Right.
know that
Sure.
also.
Well, he convinced WWF in the 70s he could get in the ring.
yeah.
He's a worker.
And he convinced Kentucky Fried Chicken that he just wanted to taste the chicken leg, not a bucket.
Wow. He got away with... He didn't have to pay for his KFC.
No, he got free buckets
This
of chicken.
guy is a worker.
Did you ever see the size of that guy?
Yeah.
He's kind of fat.
Yeah.
But anyway, besides that, right,
Big bucket of extra crispy, please.
Russo all of a sudden starts taking over everything, and before you
Yeah.
know it, boom, he's
Right.
writing for WWE Magazine.
Right. John Arrizzi who? Like I started.
Yeah.
Like I started. John
So
who?
how do you forgive that to even begin with? Like I don't even understand how you can even forgive that.
You're asking me if I would?
Yes.
No.
Never.
No. Douchebag move for eternity.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
At least you got some morals. I got to tell you that.
What did Ted DiBiase say?
If you don't stand for something,
You stand for nothing.
that's it. One of the greatest line ever. Dark Side of the Ring's been announced, and a couple of things. There's going to be the Adrian Adonis episode, which the daughter. So I was thinking about it was when I was having my operation. She wrote me, and I was out of it, but she wrote and said she wanted to thank you and me because it was
Okay.
because of our show.
Very cool.
Dark Side of the Ring reached out to her.
I'm humbled.
I am
not easy
humbled.
not easy to do.
But
I am.
also, shocking news,
That's very
and
cool.
Marty never mentioned it to me, so I'm assuming he's not part of it. They're doing an episode on Marty Jannetty.
And Marty's not going to be part of it?
I
I
don't
bet you
think.
they try to find him and they couldn't.
Well,
What do you think?
what I think is it's going to be a hit piece.
Oh no! Who doesn't like Marty at Darkside?
Dark Side is nothing but a hit piece.
I want the scoop. Who hates Marty to do that? Not even have him on it, and they're going to just do it all about him.
Name one wrestler that's been on Dark Side of the Ring that's been on it. Most of them have been dead, to be fair.
Right. Usually it's somebody who's passed away. Wow, I didn't think about that. Does Marty get any bread for this?
No,
Do you find something wrong with that?
I think so.
I'm relieved you do. You have morals too. Look at you.
I think it's wrong.
There we go. I think that's wrong.
But again,
too.
maybe Marty is in it, but he never mentioned it to me, and I can't imagine
Well,
he
maybe
would not
he's
have mentioned
afraid
it.
that the footage will come out.
Dude, if they show the footage of you beating the crap out of Marty Jannetty, how great would
You
that be?
said that, not me.
How great
What are you
would that
trying
be?
to do to me?
Marty crying.
Last week he was telling me how he misses me. Now he's going to be like, oh, I hate that fucking guy. Did you hear what Monty said about that?
He's going to call me up. He didn't beat me up.
No, stop that.
Marty, you're lying.
Not tangling with Marty. Leave me alone.
Big news last night in AEW. MJF told Allen at Full Gear 2021 the two of them had the greatest matches in history of professional wrestling. You know, how do you... First of all, it's like, I understand wrestling is pre-organized, but how could you even say that with a straight face? It's like, come on, man.
MJF's really good at acting, so he did. He did it. Did it feel like he believed it, though? That's the question.
Well,
did it come across with conviction?
Honestly, I was torn because at the same time, Cruisin' was on with Al Pacino, and I had trouble concentrating watching AEW as Cruisin'. I had never seen Cruisin'.
Okay.
It's a very old movie.
I've never seen it at all either.
Can I give you the premise on it real quick?
Sure, why not? Cruisin'.
Okay, it's about a serial killer who's killing gay people.
Interesting.
And Al Pacino goes undercover as a gay man.
Oh, wow.
And I couldn't focus.
Does he have to... Did they show him having to do anything?
My full concentration was
of that
in there,
persuasion.
And I pulled...
That's when you would go back to the promo? Right at those scenes?
I pulled out. But I pulled out.
There's nothing wrong with you if you switch stations.
I just said, I want my full concentration on Cruising because this is definitely more entertaining than AEW. And AEW's kind of got my attention just because...
Yeah.
Because I don't know why. I really can't.
Did it have a happy ending?
I didn't watch that. I had to stop. But anyway,
boing. All right.
The big news that's going on here is that you know, what do you call it? MJF called Allen Sting's bitch.
Yeah. Oh,
Sting comes out in a rare appearance, but the shocking news that's all over the dirt sheets right now is Sting gave props to Ric Flair and NWO members Scott Hall and Kevin Nash in regards to Flair. He said, whoops, hold on. It was about, because MJF keeps calling Sting, Darby Allin Sting's cheerleader or vice versa, right? He said that Ric Flair, he said, was like his cheerleader early in his career, just like Cody Rhodes, he mentioned Rhodes, was MJF's cheerleader in AEW.
Very interesting.
And so the world's in shock that Sting was name dropping.
Why not? I mean, Flair took. Look, they do nothing but work the public. Flair name drops Sting at the WWE Hall of Fame.
Right.
Little controversy. Sting turns around and name drops WWE legends and stuff like that.
Right.
You know, they're just working everybody. Whatever, man. They wanted to get a quick little ooh out of the crowd. You know.
So I was thinking about this, and I want you to weigh on this. I was thinking back in the day, right, when Sting was like the surfer guy. Obviously, when he was the Crow guy, he never spoke.
Right.
But when he was a surfer guy, he really didn't speak much there either. I don't remember him speaking too much.
No, I do.
Do you really?
I remember Sting putting on blistering face promos as the surfer guy from California.
Really?
Yeah, he talked quite a bit. With quite a bit of enthusiasm, too. He had a lot. He was a high-energy promo, from what I remember, Surfer Sting, you know? He's a good talker.
So that's the question.
He's a good talker.
Sting, good mic guy?
Absolutely. Yeah, sure. Sting's always been a pretty good mic guy.
So you've been
I think so.
I think you've been a fan of Sting for a bit then, right?
Only when Sting was the Crow did I couldn't stand Surfer Sting because I was always rooting. But I was rooting for Flair.
Gotcha.
I was rooting for the bad guys. It was all over once we got into Morocco and Valentine. In general, that outside of Hogan, the exception,
right?
The mighty face,
right?
And then in the Attitude Era, the good guy acted like a bad guy, Stone Cold Steve Austin. So he was easy to love for a guy inclined to like bad guys.
Understood.
You know, so yeah.
I just never bought into the Sting thing. Not the Crow.
I did. Oh, the Crow was fantastic.
Not the surfer guy. I just wasn't a fan.
I could see that he was big time. though. Didn't he feel big time?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
he
did. He felt big time.
He felt big time in a land of very small, like WCW at that time. To me, look, I had gotten home from the Army, so I had the hot box, so I would watch all the pay-per-views, right? But it seemed like those WCW pay-per-views back then, before the whole transition to the NWO, they were just bad. Like, just always a mess. Every one of them, you know, from the Four Horsemen with Roma to...
Right.
You know, I don't know if you remember the Scorpion thing where they had that whole build-up with the Scorpion and it ends up being Flair again. Right. It's like, and I kept thinking to myself, oh my God, Ric Flair again?
Yeah, it wasn't an optimum time. No. I'll go with that. It wasn't an optimum time.
All right, tough conversation, all right? And this is a pretty serious conversation. Rick Steiner banned from WrestleCon over alleged tirade against trans wrestler Giselle Shaw.
Okay.
A retired professional wrestler was banned from Los Angeles Wrestling Convention after he allegedly lobbed hateful, transphobic, insults at trans wrestlers signing autographs for fans over the weekend. Rick Steiner, we know his name, was prohibited from attending the rest of the 3-day event called WrestleCon for demeaning tirade against professional wrestler Giselle Shaw. Shaw accused Steiner of yelling, "You're a piece of trash. You are filth. Get the fuck out of from here." And she walked over to the table to meet the fans. "I was shocked and could not believe that this was happening," she wrote in a statement. All right, so first of all, what side of the fence are you on this situation?
In this story?
In this story, not
this story?
this
This
story.
information you've given me?
Yes.
Rick Steiner's being a douchebag. On the surface of this information you're
Sure.
giving me, he's basically confronting her and causing a scene, right? Basically?
Yeah.
I mean, if you have your opinion about this person, then that's fine. But, I don't think we would want that happening in general to people who are not exactly like you.
Well, let me ask you one
I
question.
will say that I think Bud Light is absolute idiots.
Well,
if you want me to,
well,
but let's go back to let's stay in the lane.
Yeah, stay in the lane. So
Aha! They don't know what I think
ask
they're
you
idiots
this.
for. However,
So Steiner believes old school wrestling guy,
yeah,
right?
Fine.
And from
Get it.
what we understand,
I get it.
A lot of the older guys not into
I
breaking the
already get
kayfabe thing.
Yeah, right.
Then on top of that,
Oh, do you think he was doing kayfabe?
No. I'm not
Okay,
saying that.
yeah.
But again, some of these guys are somewhat tough guys,
Oh, Rick Steiner,
and he's
sure.
looking at. Now, again, I believe, if I got this right, Giselle is a man,
right,
biologically,
correct.
who has now transformed into a
Got you.
female. I think I'm using the right
Got
description.
you.
So first, let's start here.
Right.
Rick Steiner is being aggressive towards a biological male.
Right.
So let's take Giselle out of the conversation, and across the table is Chris Masters.
Okay,
Does this get the same kind of play?
absolutely not.
Why not?
Because there's a double standard. Is there
What if he
anything
said,
else- is there
what if
anything
he said,
else
Chris
you'd like to
Masters,
know?
I don't like your long hair.
Right, you hippie.
You
Hey, wait a
hippie
minute.
bum.
What do you mean by that? What do you-
Well,
what are
because
trying
you have
to
long
say?
hair. I'm just,
Chris Masters fucked me up too. On top of it, don't
Why?
you remember?
Okay, yeah, well.
What do you mean? Why?
Yeah, I know that.
You were rooting him on.
But both-
Actually, you were going break out and laughing. That's what was happening.
Because I really thought you were going to get out.
Oh, absolutely.
You were close.
You put money on it, right?
I did.
No, you did not. You put, you put money on me to not
Vegas
get out.
had the odds.
Oh, Vegas, yeah, they thought it was odd.
So I'll ask
To
you
have it
again.
at all.
I'll ask you again.
Yeah.
Where do you stand on this now? Right? This is biologically a man.
I just don't see the point of doing it. It didn't put him in a good light.
All right, I'm gonna read
It's
some- I'm
the
gonna-
method, my friend. Let me put it that way.
All right, hold
it's
on.
the method that he did this.
I'm gonna.
that I'm not the biggest fan of. There's other ways to get your point across. You don't have to do that. But hey, you're right. If it was Chris Masters, then nobody says shit. So yes, I've already said there's a double standard.
Fair enough.
I really don't know where you want me to go
Jason
with
says
this.
never got into Sting. Rory,
Right.
a fan.
Right.
Jay
Fair
Will
enough.
says Jim Hellwig, another Georgia boy, former Georgia winner.
Right,
Lou
right.
says Rick Steiner acted like we thought 1999 Scott Steiner would say. Lou, you're always
Interesting.
online.
Yeah, sure. I could
Says
see-
Rick
yeah.
out of line totally.
Yeah, I believe he is.
Jason, did it actually happen? Can anybody back up the story with Steiner? Good
there's
point.
always that.
But it seems like a lot of people have known.
Right.
Maria, the first lady of wrestling, says,
Maria.
Isn't Rick Steiner so a wrestler?
He is.
Okay.
Yeah, he
True.
is. He is. So
Jay Will
wrestler.
says Rick and Scott Steiner also Georgia boys now. Mm-hmm. Rick ran for office. Well, he ain't getting in an office now. Lou says Steiner should
Depends
know
what state.
better, and the school board member doesn't make sense. So,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, it's weird. I think it's a strange way of letting somebody know that you don't approve of them. Again, it's the method. He could have found a different way to get his point across. Didn't have to do it that way. I mean, honestly, even if it's a man-to-man, you're causing a scene, bro. This is WrestleCon.
I understand.
Shut up. What are you doing?
But, okay.
Right?
Understood.
I mean,
Understood.
jeez.
But man to man, we've already
Yeah.
identified
Yeah.
that this wouldn't be a problem. But just because this man.
How come he
is-
didn't get up and say, go F yourself? What the hell's this?
Thank you.
I would have.
Why not?
And he would have killed me, but I still would have.
Right.
Because I'm nuts.
But
Yeah.
that's.
Yeah. He would have ragged me all through WrestleCon. It would have been Wrestle Rag Pharaoh.
One of the Monty and Pharaoh supporters wrote on
Okay.
on our page the other day, and he said, "Did you know that the MLW owner Court Bauer is dating Giselle Shaw.
Is this
And
true?
I said I didn't know. So I said, okay, look, like I say it all the time. I don't,
Yeah.
I know as much as ever. In fact, I would tell you that people that support the show know 10 times more than I do. Not you, me. Okay? You know what you're talking about. Me, on the other hand, I know nothing.
Okay.
But I did look
Now we're
up,
both
and
in
it says Giselle Shaw
Yeah,
and Scott D'Amore. There was articles that they've been dating for 4 years.
Scott
D'Amore is the TNA guy, Impact guy.
Okay.
So then I started thinking to myself,
Oh, boy.
self,
Yeah.
if you're a man,
Okay.
right?
So far, so good.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you're a homosexual, you are attracted
Well,
to
one-
other men.
Well, 1 for 2. All
I
right.
need you to help me with this.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
I am attracted to a man. I'm a homosexual. If I'm a woman attracted to another woman, I believe that's called a lesbian.
Right. Yeah, so far.
Fair? I'm okay?
Yeah, I think so.
Am I okay on that,
We got
Spidey?
the definitions down.
Am I got
Spidey?
this right? All right, thank you.
These definitions count on the planet.
So here
Vulcan,
lies the
right?
question.
I mean,
now
it's
you're
logical.
now you're a biological man,
Yeah.
and you want to date a man who's now a woman. Does that like? I don't get that. Like, wouldn't you just date a woman? Or
Well,
are you
how
saying
much
that
of-
she is
how much
is a woman?
How much of the man that became a woman? How much percentage of a woman is she currently? Are we fully
Good
transformed?
point. I believe.
And
I
how
would,
long have we been fully
I would.
transformed?
I'm willing to bet not fully
And
transformed.
does that person that transformed themselves even tell you until before it's too late? It's like, oh shit, I've been dating you for 2 years, and you mean 7
Oh,
years
shit,
ago your
what's
name
this in my
your
hand?
name was Steven? Oh, you mean that they still have that down
I
there?
assume.
I
so.
asked if they were fully transformed.
Well, that would be fully transformed, wouldn't it?
So what do they do when they're hungry? Hold the pickle, hold the lettuce, special sauce. Now you've upset us.
Oh.
What do they do?
So my point is, like, I'm trying. Guys, I'm not trying to be stupid here. I'm
I
trying.
am, because this subject is very, very tricky. I'm trying to be as dumb as
Luce,
possible.
Luce says Scott D'Amore likes his hot dog with cream.
Here we go. Boy, you relished in that joke, didn't you? Little relish for your hot dog there, Walter?
Listen, a couple of things is like,
Oh, Jesus. Look,
I'm
look,
lost.
You
I'm
shouldn't
lost.
be lost because remember back in my house back in the day. Remember my swimming pool?
Yes, sir.
Remember that infamous sign if you went into the changing shed? And yeah, once upon wow, I used to live ritzy. There was a changing shed in the backyard.
There was, yep.
There was a sign hanging up there. Let's keep this simple.
Go ahead.
We don't swim in your toilet. Don't pee in our pool.
You love that line.
I love it. Mind your own business. I don't care what you do. Just don't broadcast it to me, and don't make life obnoxiously annoying for me with your.
So let
newfound
live, let
thing you're
live,
into.
let
I
live
don't give a
and
shit.
let
Do whatever
live
you
and
want.
be live.
How about that? Wouldn't that be nice?
Okay, last
It's
question.
impossible,
Last
by the way,
question.
but-
It's an honest spot question,
Go ahead.
and I love the fact that you always answer honestly.
I try.
You have a child.
Oy, I am a child. but
Hold
go
on.
ahead. Yeah.
You have
I
a child.
have a child.
It's a son.
It's a son.
He plays baseball. You do football with him. All this good shit.
Okay.
Then one time he comes home.
With a vagina?
No. He comes home with his girlfriend,
Yeah.
who you find out
Wow,
used to
she's
be
hot.
She's hot,
Wow.
but she used to be a man. What are you thinking? It's because let live and let live.
Yeah, that's going to be a rough one, but I'm going to have to accept it, aren't I?
You will accept it.
Yeah, I will. I'll have to.
Look at you,
My
man.
son.
Wow, I never thought you would be that
That's
way.
my son.
Good for you, bro.
I'll be
good.
extremely disappointed, and I'll never take him to another Yankee game. But live and let live. What? That's my son.
All right, last conversation
not going to the
on
games
this,
with
and we're
me
going to move
anymore.
on from it. Okay?
Yeah, go ahead.
Live and let live.
All right.
You're at the bar.
Yeah. At a bar.
You see this Giselle.
I'm not playing that night. 'Cause
Not
that's the
playing.
only time I'm at a
Not
bar is when I'm
playing. You
performing.
went to the bar,
Okay, I went to the bar.
and
This
there's
is strange.
Giselle. You know her as Giselle. You meet her.
Yeah.
Pretty attractive woman. Looks like it, right?
Okay, go ahead.
And she's definitely wants a piece of Farrell. Gets, things are good.
Right.
Farrell's drinking,
You get me worried.
brings her to the car,
Right. I'm getting more worried.
and he's having fun. They start making
oh,
out.
this is getting rough. Go ahead.
And then you reach down, and
And
there's a
Jingle
wiener.
Balls, Batman Small, Robin.
Are you live and let live?
No, I'm punching you straight in
What?
the face.
Wait, whoa! What do you
False
mean?
advertising is not cool. False advertising is not cool. And the recipient of false advertising has a right to file a complaint with the alleged fraud. You frauded me. Here I was thinking that I was going to, straight into the pew, and I've got what instead?
Hot dog and cream.
What would you do, Mike? What would you do? Since I've already answered that I'd fat out slam him in the face, what would you do?
I'd be in jail.
Wow.
Looks like
worse
WrestleCon.
than
Another
me.
guy I want to punch in the face.
What?
Matt Cardona.
Oh, okay.
Got
Why?
Greg Valentine very upset at WrestleCon. There was almost another fight.
With Valentine and Cardona?
That's right.
Cardona's
So
dead.
Cardona happens to have one of
Does he
the
know it?
only last LJN Rhythm and Blue
Rhythm and
toy
Blue.
figures
He's got the toy in the box sealed?
in the box sealed.
Oh, wow.
And Greg was very upset, being that, first of all, Matt Cardona has said many a times he was never a fan of Greg Valentine.
why does he pick on Greg Valentine?
And Greg was not happy that he had the thing, and Greg got very aggressive with him.
Should have put the figure 4 on him right there at WrestleCon.
Was Greg wrong for being upset?
Hell's no.
Greg's
What
okay.
are you doing with my action figure? Yeah, no, live and live.
Well,
live.
he collects them.
Don't talk shit
Cardona,
about
that's
me.
Cardona's thing, right? He collects
Right.
it.
Well, I bet you Greg just wants to get it from him so he could sell it. That shit's got to be worth some money. He's probably
Especially
mad
with
that
signs
this goon, this goofball, Zack Ryder's got his doll. That would annoy me too.
So we got
Hurry
one
up.
WrestleCon. We got at WrestleCon Rick Steiner screaming because we have a transgender wrestler and he's not happy about it.
Yeah,
And then
which
you
was
got
still-
another fight happening
Yeah.
because Matt
What?
Cardona's got Greg Valentine's
Give me that
toy.
action figure, you fuck. Greg, your medication. Fuck that. You know what that thing's worth? Did you open it? He didn't even open it. Get him. Woo. What's going on here?
Oh,
That's
my-
fucking rough.
Kurt Angle teared up when Rey Mysterio mentioned him in his Hall of Fame speech. Thoughts on that? He
Kurt
mentioned
Angle.
on his podcast how honored he was that he was mentioned during Rey Mysterio.
I don't want to say that Kurt Angle's an emotional mess, but did you know he's tearing up right now because we're talking about him? He's tearing up. He took too many shots to the head. He's shot. Kurt Angle is shot.
Kurt
He
Angle.
mentioned me.
How does a guy even have a podcast?
You're
right.
He's
It's like, hey Kurt, remember the
gone. He's gone. He's like Larry Fine at the end of his life. Too many pokes to the eyes. He's gone. He's done. He's finished. Yeah, Kurt's messed up, dude. He's really messed up. And the reason why people like to listen to Kurt is the same reason why people like to slow down when they see an accident on the side of the road. It's the same thing.
Just a mess.
It's just a mess. People are attracted to messes.
Wow.
And I love that mess. I love Kurt Angle.
Do you listen to that podcast at all?
No, he's a mess.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I tried to listen to it, dude. It was like torture. I was
Speaking of messes.
like, kill me now.
Oh, my God.
All right. CM Punk reportedly wants back in AEW, and his rumor has it that he'll be returning in June in Chicago. He's also willing to make amends and wrestle against the Elite. Thoughts on that, Farrah?
Oh, God. Well, at least it'll get their ratings a little up again, right? I mean, he'll pull in a few 100,000, won't he? He still does that, doesn't he? Even when he sucks.
Wait a minute. Ian Hotchkiss, new subscriber. Welcome,
Hey,
Ian. Great
what's
to see you,
happening,
brother.
Ian? Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Love that you're here. Just talking a little this week of wrestling before the main show where we have a special guest, which will be back at 9 o'clock. So, are you excited for CM Punk?
No.
And you
he
don't
lost
care.
me a long time ago.
All right.
Well, what do you think of that, though? I mean, the fans will probably be into it, right? Will they buy into it, or will they boo the shit out of him?
I think
For real,
that
like, go away.
CM Punk.
It's getting close. He's pushing it. How about
I
that?
think you wear your welcome out sooner
That's
or later.
what I mean. It's
And,
getting close.
Um,
If it didn't happen already, we'll find out when he comes back.
if you're gonna bring him back, you better bring him back right before August. And
Okay.
have him wrestle at Wembley
Well,
Stadium.
Wembley, yeah, he's got to wrestle at Wembley.
And again, I don't even know if that makes a difference either,
That's
man.
just in their best interest to have him there.
All right. Liv Morgan and Gonzalez have won the tag team titles. It looks like straight from Monty's desk, as Monday night Lita was attacked, and no one knows who attacked her.
Right.
And Trish Stratus had to step in,
There you go.
and she got pinned.
Right.
I think Trish is turning heel, my friend.
I think you're correct. Yeah.
You think she purposely lost that match?
Huh?
Do you think she
I
purposely
just
matched?
think like it's coming. I mean, what? Like,
I think you're going to find out that Trish beat up Lita.
Okay.
That's what I think is going to
I
happen.
think so. I could see that. Don't you want to ultimately have a Becky Lynch Trish Stratus thing?
I think that would be a hell of a
I
match.
really think that that's what they should do here. Somehow get it to that.
Let me ask you
You
this.
got to get it to that, because that's gold.
But let me ask
right
you this
there.
question.
Trish and
Icon.
Becky. Yeah, Trish is just
But
huge
is today's woman wrestler, like, okay, back in the day, Attitude Era, Trish, Lita, the standard. They were the standard. Fair
Jackie,
enough.
too. I've been talking about
Yeah,
ring work.
yeah.
Ring work. Jackie was...
Okay,
oh.
but they were the standard.
Yeah, they were.
Today's wrestler, Becky Lynch, Bayley, Charlotte,
Trish can
Rhea
still
Ripley.
go with them if that's
Can
what
she
you
go
want.
with them?
Trish can. Lita,
Even-
a little rusty.
But I'm even saying
Lita's a
prime,
little bit of,
prime
you know-
Attitude Era, could they go with these girls nowadays?
Oh, absolutely.
Really?
Lita? Yeah.
Okay.
Lita was flipping and flying around way above. She wrote the template for these women to do a lot of what they're doing.
Yeah, but these wrestlers have
and
taken
Trish
that
Stratus is
beyond.
so solid.
Right.
And still is. Do you understand? She's got a
Gotcha.
style that would work in any generation.
Doesn't matter.
She's smooth as butter.
So you're interested in see Trish, bad Trish.
Yeah, I am. I like it.
I kind of like it too.
How
be
could
honest
you
with
not like that? That's what I call a sexy matchup.
Not
Trish
bad.
Stratus and Becky Lynch going at it. That's fantastic. I'll take it.
Drew McIntyre having health issues
Yeah.
before WrestleMania 39, so it seems Drew's going to be out for a while.
Is he having health
you
issues
believe it?
or is he leaving?
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
I think this just
Why
might be
would
a
he
story.
leave, though? I mean, he just took part in WrestleMania in a great match for the
Because I
Intercontinental
think
title. It
people
was a
have
great
this
match.
false thought that they're more important than they are.
I don't know if Drew's got that.
You said it last week. You're not tuning in to see Drew McIntyre. He's great to have on the card,
Right.
but you're not going, hey, I want to go see
you
Drew
know-
today.
You know what my advice would be to Drew? If I could give him advice, I'd be like, Drew, you waited all those years. You spent all those years on the indies. You worked so hard to get back here and prove your point.
Right.
You really want to go back to that? You've made it, bro. Stay where you are.
People don't get it, dude.
It's just, yeah. I mean, what would be the point? To go to AEW to get an instant pop and then to be forgotten about like so many of others and get diluted into the card, and then you're going Drew who?
Michael Rubin saying, hey, Monty Nefaro, you think Punk's coming back? I think he's coming
believe-
back.
yeah,
we
I
were just
believe so.
covering that. I think he's in.
Yeah, I think so.
I think it's good for him. I think it's good for Tony Khan. I think it's good for AEW.
They need some restoring to do as far as all the shit that went down. So, yeah, if they go
But
out there and give a good
I got to tell you
program,
something.
all right.
I've never seen such a full roster that gets nothing
It's
accomplished.
nothing. Nothing. I'm making an appearance next week. I expect nothing.
Dude, I had this vision of you making an appearance. I don't know how it just happened.
Oh, trust
you said
me.
it.
If I did, I would make sure that people would remember me. I'll tell you that. Be like,
I just imagine you
what the
coming out with a
fuck?
hat.
Yeah. like looking at MJF. Nah, you're from Long Island. Get the fuck out of here. We know about you. We made fun of you back in high school. Stop it.
Back to Wembley. Chris Jericho says AEW All in Wembley Stadium is going to be a cultural event. AEW is holding the biggest event ever, August 27th, as they travel to UK. Right, where they're going to try to fill up 90,000 fans. Their previous largest audience was at Arthur Ashe Stadium in 2021, which had 20,000.
Right.
Is this Tony Khan just reacting to WrestleMania and just doing something stupid? Because your boy
Well, he
Dave
knows
Meltzer has said
My
if they
boy?
sell 30,000,
It's
it's a
Dave.
total success.
If they sell 30,000, it's a total success. You know what? It would be. Because the most they've ever had is 20,000, right?
That's fair.
But, you know, aren't they going to get killed in the rent for that day at Wembley if they're supposed to have 90,000 seats?
Yeah, it'd be a
They're going
problem.
to get mited.
It might be a problem.
Yeah, we paid to, sure, we can fill this place. Okay, give us, And then you
Tony,
get-
Dad wants to talk to you. Son, what is this bill for $5 billion, $5 million from England?
Lawrence is finally starting to develop at quarterback, and you just blew the money for his tight end next year, you fucking idiot. Absolutely. Yeah. Again, I think that, I don't know what the most they can get there. If they got 30,000, I agree with Dave Meltzer. It's a success, but I don't consider that a success. You got 60,000 empty seats. Dave Meltzer's all-time arch nemesis, the WWE, would fill Wembley. Imagine if the WWE went there and only had 30,000. Go ahead, Dave. Call it a success. In a fair world, be nice.
Yeah, right.
He'd be like, "Oh, you failed. Fuck you. I'm calling Evan. You failed. Yeah, they failed.
You think Meltzer would call Ginsburg?
Probably. They probably have a speed text with each other.
Wow. I don't even know how to answer that
I
one.
don't think you would.
I'm having a lot of envisionments right now.
Yeah, I
Tommy
bet.
Dreamer discusses the process of picking teammates for his hardcore war match against Bubba Ray's team.
And I'm picking sleeping meds to take a nap for this match. Should I take NyQuil?
Dude.
Or should I take what?
What does it say when you're just going balls deep into, like, dragging 50-year-old guys? I don't even...
Can I?
What's going on?
Can I say it?
Say it.
Tommy, bully, go home. No more. Please, no more. And no more LaGreca run-ins, please. I can't. My eyes can't take it. Or
Hey,
my
Jason
ears.
just said he saw the WWE stock at close at 103. I bought, back in the day,
Yeah.
WWE for $19. It's still sitting there, and baby, I'm about to sell.
Really?
I'm very close.
Okay.
Listen, that's not a bad investment. $19 for
Right.
103. I'll do that every day.
I sold mine right after Vince bought everything.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Did you make money on that?
Yeah.
Not bad.
Well, Vince bought everything. It was at its all-time high. It was like, oh, WWE owns the
Newcomer
world.
Richie says Tony Khan reminds him of two people. All right, serious question. Here's a really serious question
Yeah.
before we go.
Yeah.
I can't stand Tommy Dreamer. We all know this.
Right.
Tommy Dreamer is now what is it?
Participating?
No, not participating, but like going to the WWE and saying, hey, I want to be in the Hall of Fame.
Petitioning.
Petitioning, thank you.
Right.
Because it's in Philadelphia.
Right. Did you know that you cannot petition the Lord with prayer?
I did not know that.
Well, Jim Morrison thinks that, but he's dead.
So meaning that you can't pray to God and say, give me something?
Yeah, he's like, don't be rude.
Don't ask me for
Yeah,
shit.
what are you bothering me for? I
ask
already
me for
created. The hard work on my end is done. You're on your own.
But you can partition. Am I saying that right?
Partition.
Partition.
Partition. Yeah.
The
Mortician.
WWE
Mortician.
to be in the Hall of
Yeah,
Fame.
is that what he thinks he's a Hall of Famer? I know why he does.
I'm going to ask
This is
you.
Stacy
'cause-
Keibler's fault. That's why he thinks he's a Hall of Famer. I told you.
All right, I'm going to
When
go
you
on
start
record. Keebler's done more for this business than
Oh,
Tommy
no,
Dreamer
no,
has
stop
ever
it.
done.
Oh, man. Oh, wow.
I'm sorry. That's fact.
Yeah, well,
Ruben wants to know, hey, do I think that Vince is back in creative? Absolutely. He's been in creative.
What, when Brock was Ragdoll and Cody, you couldn't eat Slam, said Vince.
Thank you, Michael.
Vince,
Petition.
Vince.
Petition.
Yeah, petition.
Tommy Dreamer is not a Hall of Famer.
Right.
Sorry.
Right.
End of story.
In my mind, no. But I have a lot of others that are already in that aren't either. One of these days, we're going to do a show. Who should be in and who's in that shouldn't be?
Fine.
We should do that.
So we name the people that are in and
Yeah.
argue about it.
And then decide whether or
argue
not-
about other people being in.
Let's do a basic one real quick.
Go ahead.
Great Khali. Should he be in the Hall of Fame? Don't say yes as a knee-jerk thing. Does Mike Monty think, as a wrestling fan,
Right.
that Great Khali is a Hall of Famer? I say no. I say
Okay.
no.
Business-wise or just wrestling-wise?
As a wrestling fan, is Great
No.
Khali...
No, he's not.
Thank you.
He's
That's
not.
all I wanted there. Neither is Tommy. Neither is Tommy. Sorry, neither is Tommy.
What about Stacey Keibler?
No!
But I totally disagree
I
on
don't
a
think she's a
wrestling
Hall of
fan.
Fame. I said, no, I don't think she is. I think that the women like Sherry Martel were, Elizabeth was, Missy Hyatt was, Stacy Keibler.
Stop right there. I'm going to ask you this question.
Boy,
So
am I childish. No!
you
N-O!
grew up on Elizabeth. She's important to you.
Yes.
Just like she's important to me. She's important to wrestling.
She was one of
But
the biggest stars in
hold
the
on,
business at
hold
the
on.
time.
Because,
Stacey Keibler
wait a
never
minute.
was. No.
Hold on.
Nope.
Because she was a very attractive woman in a world of wrestling where there weren't
Portrayed a
attractive
diva like
women.
Stacey Keibler did years later.
Hold on. You're not listening. Let me speak here. She's with Macho Man. She did absolutely nothing but stand there.
Right.
Stand there.
Gold.
Because
Gold.
she was in a time where
That's what...
you talk about Velvet McIntyre's feet
Yeah,
was
those
your attraction to her.
toes. Oh, those toes.
Right? Compared to something of the beauty of Elizabeth. Okay? It wasn't her acting. It wasn't anything. It was that she looked hot.
Right.
And we were young.
She was a princess.
Yeah.
And a great one.
Keibler
Remember,
actually had more involvement in wrestling than Elizabeth.
remember Sleeping Beauty?
Yes.
Does Sleeping Beauty have anything to say?
No.
Over.
And with that, this has been This Week of Wrestling. Catch us in 15 minutes. We're back on with the main show. Join us. We're going to have a good time. Luce says, met Sherry in person, 92, and she was very hot. I got to tell you something,
Sherry's
Luce.
amazing.
I've always
She's
been
the
hot
best.
for Sherry Martel.
Sherry Martel's the
except
best.
when she wore that glitter makeup on her eyes. That
Didn't
kind
like
of annoyed.
that, huh?
And one thing, too, I will say this, to be fair.
Yeah.
When they did close-up on her teeth, she had very chiclety
Would you
teeth,
stop
and
it?
that really annoyed me. And obviously, she might have been a smoker because there was some, like, yellow tar on those chiclets,
God.
and that kind of bothered me. But if she kept her lips closed, I thought she was hot.
That's right.
Is that fair?
I got more yellow than Hogan. What are you talking about? You've been watching This Week in Wrestling, brother. And until next week in wrestling, dude, later.